Chapter 14. This is the book of the words of righteousness, and of the reprimand of the eternal watchers, in accordance with the command of the Holy Great One, in that vision I saw in my sleep. What I will now say with a tongue of flesh, and with the breath of my mouth, which the Great One has given to men to speak with it, and to understand with the heart. As he has created and given to man the power of understanding the word of wisdom, so has he created me also and given me the power of reprimanding the watchers, the children of heaven. I wrote out your petition, and in my vision it appeared that your petition will not be granted to you throughout all the days of eternity, and that judgment has been finally passed on you. Your petition will not be granted. From here on you shall not ascend into the heaven again for all eternity, and you will be bound on earth for all eternity. Before this, you will see the destruction of your beloved sons, and you shall have no pleasure in them, but they shall fall before you by the sword. Your petition shall not be granted on their behalf or on ours. Even though you weep and pray and speak all the words contained in my writings, in the vision I saw clouds that invited me and summoned me into a mist, and the course of the stars and the flashes of lightning, and hurried me and drove me. And the winds in the vision caused me to fly and lifted me up, and bore me into heaven. And I went in until I drew near a wall which was built out of crystals and surrounded by tongues of fire, and it began to frighten me. I went into the tongues of fire and drew near a large house which was built of crystals, and the walls of the house were like a mosaic of hailstones, and the floor was made of crystals like snow. Its ceiling was like the path of stars and lightning flashes, and between them were fiery cherubim. Their sky was clear as water, a flaming fire surrounded the walls, and its doors blazed with fire. I entered that house, and it was hot as fire and cold as ice. There were no pleasures or life therein. Fear covered me, and trembling got a hold of me. As I shook and trembled, I fell on my face, and I saw a vision, and lo, there was a second house, greater than the first, and all the doors stood open before me, and it was built of flames of fire. And in every respect it was splendid and magnificent, to the extent that I cannot describe it to you. Its floor was of fire, and above it was lightning, and the path of the stars in its ceiling also was flaming fire. And I looked and saw a throne set on high. Its appearance was like crystal, and its wheels were like a shining sun, and there was the vision of cherubim. And from underneath the throne came rivers of fire, so that I could not look at it. And he who is great in glory sat on the throne, and his raiment shone more brightly than the sun, and was whiter than any snow. None of the angels could enter or could behold his face, because of the magnificence and glory, and no flesh could behold him. The sea of fire surrounded him, and a great fire stood in front of him, and no one could draw close to him. 10,000 times and 10,000 stood before him, but he needed no holy counsel. The most holy ones who were near to him did not leave night or day. And until then I had been prostrate on my face, trembling, and the Lord called me with his own mouth and said to me, "Come here, Enoch, and hear my word." And one of the holy ones came to me, picked me up, and brought me to the door. And I bowed down my face. Chapter 15. And he answered and said to me, and I heard his voice, "Do not be afraid, Enoch, you righteous man, a scribe of righteousness. Approach and hear my voice. Go and say to the watchers of heaven, for whom you have come to intercede. You should intercede for men, and not men for you. Why and for what cause have you left the high, holy, and eternal heaven, and had sex with women, and defiled yourselves with the daughters of men, and taken to yourselves wives, and done like the children of earth, and begotten giants as your sons? Though you were holy, spiritual, living the eternal life, you have defiled yourselves with the blood of women, and have begotten children with the blood of flesh. And as the children of men, you have lusted after flesh and blood, like those who die and are killed. This is why I have given men wives, that they might impregnate them, and have children by them, that deeds might continue on the earth. But you were formerly spiritual, living the eternal life and immortal for all generations of the world. Therefore, I have not appointed wives for you. You are spiritual beings of heaven, and in heaven was your dwelling place. And now, the giants who are produced from the spirits and flesh shall be called evil spirits on the earth, and shall live on the earth. Evil spirits have come out from their bodies, because they are born from men and from the holy watchers. Their beginning is of primal origin. They shall be evil spirits on earth, and evil spirits shall they be called, spirits of the evil ones. And the spirits of the giants afflict, oppress, destroy, attack, war, destroy, and cause trouble on the earth. They take no food, but do not hunger or thirst. They cause offenses, but are not observed. And these spirits shall rise up against the children of men, and against the women, because they have proceeded from them in the days of the slaughter and destruction. Chapter 16. And at the death of the giants, spirits will go out and shall destroy without incurring judgment. Coming from their bodies, their flesh shall be destroyed until the day of the consummation. The great judgment in which the age shall be consummated over the watchers and the godless, and shall be wholly consummated. And now, as to the watchers who have sent you to intercede for them, who had been in heaven before. You were in heaven, but all the mysteries of heaven had not been revealed to you. And you knew worthless ones, and these in the hardness of your hearts you have made known to the women, and through these mysteries women and men work much evil on the earth. Say to them, therefore, you have no peace. Chapter 17. And they took me to a place in which those who were there were like flaming fire. And when they wished, they made themselves appear as men. They brought me to the place of darkness, and to a mountain, the point of whose summit reached to heaven. And I saw the lighted places, and the treasuries of the stars, and of the thunder, and in the uttermost depths were a fiery bow and arrows in their quiver, and a fiery sword, and all the lightning. And they took me to the waters of life, and to the fire of the west, which receives every setting of the sun. And I came to a river of fire, in which the fire flows like water into the great sea towards the west. I saw the great rivers, and came to the great darkness, and went to the place where no flesh walks. I saw the mountains of the darkness of winter, and the place from where all the waters of the deep flow. I saw the mouths of all the rivers of the earth, and the mouth of the deep. Chapter 18. I saw the storehouse of all the winds. I saw how he had adorned the whole creation with them, and the firm foundations of the earth. And I saw the cornerstone of the earth. I saw the four winds which support the earth, and the firmament of the heaven. I saw how the winds stretched out the height of heaven, and have their station between heaven and earth. These are the pillars of heaven. I saw the winds of heaven which turn and bring the sky and the sun and all the stars to their setting place. I saw the winds on the earth carrying the clouds. I saw the paths of the angels. I saw at the end of the earth the firmament of heaven above. And I continued south and saw a place which burns day and night, where there are 7 mountains of magnificent stones, 3 towards the east and 3 towards the south. And as for those towards the east, they were of colored stone, and one of pearl, and one of jacinth, a stone of healing, and those toward the south of red stone. But the middle one reached to heaven like the throne of God, and was made of alabaster. And the summit of the throne was of sapphire. And I saw a great abyss of the earth, with pillars of heavenly fire, and I saw among them fiery pillars of heaven, which were falling. And as regards both height and depth, they were immeasurable. And beyond that abyss I saw a place which had no firmament of heaven above, and no firmly founded earth beneath it. There was no water on it, and no birds, but it was a desert, and a horrible place. I saw there 7 stars like great burning mountains, and an angel questioned me regarding them. The angel said, "This place is the end of heaven and earth. This has become a prison for the stars and the host of heaven. And the stars which roll over the fire are they which have transgressed the commandment of the Lord in the beginning of their rising, because they did not come out at their proper times. And he was angry with them, and bound them until the time when their guilt should be consummated, even for 10,000 years." Chapter 19. And Uriel said to me, "The angels who have had sex with women shall stand here, and their spirits, having assumed many different forms, are defiling mankind, and shall lead them astray into sacrificing to demons as gods. Here shall they stand until the day of the great judgment, in which they shall be judged and are made an end of." And the women also of the angels who went astray shall become sirens. And I, Enoch, alone saw the vision, the ends of all things, and no man shall see as I have seen. Chapter 20. These are the names of the holy angels who watch. Uriel, one of the holy angels who is over the world, turmoil and terror. Raphael, one of the holy angels who is over the spirits of men. Ragael, one of the holy angels who takes vengeance on the world of the luminaries. Michael, one of the holy angels set over the virtues of mankind and over chaos. Sarakiel, one of the holy angels who is set over the spirits who sin in the spirit. Gabriel, one of the holy angels who is over paradise and the serpents and the cherubim. Remiel, one of the holy angels whom God set over those who rise. Chapter 21. Then I proceeded to where things were chaotic and void, and I saw there something horrible. I saw neither a heaven above, nor a firmly founded earth, but a place chaotic and horrible. And there I saw 7 stars of heaven bound together in it, like great mountains, and burning with fire. Then I said, For what sin are they bound, and on why have they been cast in here? Then said Uriel, one of the holy angels, who was with me, and was chief over them, Enoch, why do you ask, and why are you eager for the truth? These are some of the stars of heaven, which have transgressed the commandment of the Lord, and are bound here until 10,000 years. The time entailed by their sins are consummated. And I went out from there to another place, which was still more horrible than the former. And I saw a terrible thing, a great fire there, which burned and blazed, and the place was cleft as far as the abyss, full of great falling columns of fire. Neither its width or breadth could I see, nor could I see its source. Then I said, I am afraid of this place, and cannot stand to look at it. Then Uriel, one of the holy angels who was with me, answered and said to me, Enoch, why are you so afraid? And I answered, Because of this fearful place, and because of the spectacle of pain. And he said to me, This place is the prison of the angels, and here they will be imprisoned forever.